and welcome to the Vergecast. Welcome to the Vergecast for the week of October 7th, 2013. I'm Josh TOPOLSKY.
I'm NILAY PATEL.
I'm ADRIANNE Jeffries.
That's true. That is true.
Probably the first and only true thing we've said.
I look like Kramer.
Yeah, you've got...
What is going on with this hair?
It's bigger than usual. You got some volume,
I
man.
didn't put any product in it.
You should use mousse.
Crocodile in the hair. Here's the thing. Rot skin and limbs, great for the hairline.
Yeah, shiny.
What are you saying? I do look a little shiny. I see what you're saying.
Now,
you were talking about the crocodile. Slick and shiny.
You crocking that hair?
Croc. The hair has been crocked.
You crocking those locks?
Yeah. Anyhow, this is the Vergecast where we discuss the week in consumer things. We're going to talk about politics. If you're one of those people who leaves a comment that's like, I don't listen to this podcast to hear about politics, just turn it off right now. We're going to talk about something else that you might like later, but whatever.
I mean, there is a stack of Chromebooks on this table.
That's true. So anyhow, this is the Vergecast, and we're going to talk about things, and we have a long list of things, and I'm going to just... I'm going to not do a big intro. Yeah. I'm not going to waste everybody's time talking about how there's going to be an intro and what we're doing. And we're going to talk about the week.
Because I really just want to see it again.
What is the video?
The Fox video. Shep Smith.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about, first off, Fox News has a new newsroom.
Yeah. Well, Shep Smith has a new newsroom.
Shep Smith has finally gotten the newsroom that he deserves.
The Fox News Deck, I believe it's called.
The News Deck, where he's able to manipulate in real time the news as it happens.
Nothing has given me greater joy.
He's able to bend otherwise neutral stories into a right wing slant in real time. He's like taking an otherwise innocuous story about a cat being rescued into an anti-Obama rant. No, but so Fox has a new newsroom. Do we have some images of the newsroom? Do we have?
We should.
Some B-roll of Shep. There he is.
All week long, whenever I've been in a bad news
here's
mood,
Shepard Smith and the regular size tablet's being operated by
I feel like I would
people.
have to stand up to use one of these.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just stop it here. Can we
just hold that. Just hold. Nope.
That's a picture of the floor.
This is
Can we go back
building.
All right, so here's what's going on in this newsroom. As you can see in some... Stop. Hit stop.
Hold it. There we go.
Right there is perfect.
Perfect.
So they built him a new newsroom. They claim that it is the first newsroom that is entirely digital. Shepard Smith, as he's broadcasting the news, can pull tweets onto the air himself.
Yep.
He can act as his own sort of producer.
Do you think there's a penalty if you bring paper in?
Yeah.
Get that out of there.
Probably. They force you to use a regular size tablet.
And then they claim that they have built their own software platform for these producers in the background to be running on these giant 55-inch.
They have
Microsoft's Perceptive Pixel displays.
It looks like Windows 8 to me, but
and then we looked at it, and at first I thought it was Flipboard, but it's really the big news app for Windows 8.
Yeah.
So Fox News, in the big news app, it looks great.
It is beautiful.
But even Tom Warren was like, "Why are they using that?
Yeah.
It is so consistently behind the news."
So the apparently Shepard Smith is going to be able to take in real time. He has this Wii controller, and he's able to take in real time images and pull them up from what he's looking at and throw them on the screen and scroll through them. That
looks cool.
Which is sort of a cool idea. I mean, I guess this is easier. What he's doing is easier than having something in front of him with a tablet or whatever. I don't really have a problem with that. Seems like it could be interesting,
that's fine.
and we'll have to see how that plays out.
And that's just as silly as CNN's giant touchscreen.
That's right.
John King.
What I have
hologram.
Yeah, the hologram.
CNN's out of control.
What I have a problem with is these giant Windows 8 tablets that are displaying look.
Four tweets. It's four tweets.
And I think the idea is they want the people who are watching at home to see what's on those screens.
Yeah.
But so number one, that totally defeats the purpose of using them as a research. I mean, your stuff is you're just seeing it there.
There's definitely
raw.
At the end of the video. So first,
this is really to prevent the producers from going to Facebook.
It's four tweets.
Maybe it very well. Could
at the end of the video, she's just on Google, in the background. It's hilarious. She's using.
There's somebody who's on Twitter.
Keyboard.
There's somebody who's on Twitter. They're just on the Twitter website.
Right.
But if they have some special tweet view that shows 4 tweets at a time, which is it just looks.
It looks ridiculous.
It just looks ridiculous.
And
there's no getting around it. You don't need. How big are they? 58 inch.
55.
You don't need 55-inch tablets
that are running
to research the news on the internet. In fact, in some way, it's you're making it harder.
No, when I have two displays, have you ever noticed this? When I have two displays, I actually find it hard to see all of the things that are happening. I always run 2 displays. Like that's my basic setup.
That's something you got to know about NILAY.
Right.
If he comes to your house, if he's staying overnight,
I bring a monitor.
He's going to need 2 displays. That's non-negotiable.
I need a soft pillow, a warm sleeping bag.
You like a soft? You like a soft? I like a firm, thin pillow.
That sounds really uncomfortable.
It's not. Just a little bit of pillow.
I like sleeping to be painful.
No, just a little bit of pillow.
No.
Just a touch of pillow.
No. I like a combo move.
Okay. I don't like the soft pillow.
Like a big fluffy and
soft
then
pillow, your face sinks down into it. You don't know where your arm goes.
I mean, Adrian, at some point you have to enter this conversation.
Next, what kind of pillow do you like?
I like 2 medium-sized pillows.
Okay, what kind of firmness? Soft, like down pillows?
Like medium to firm.
So not foam, not foam.
No, not foam.
I'm a foam pillow guy.
I would say I haven't gone out there and tried all of these different pillows.
Yeah. Got to go to IKEA on a Saturday. Midday.
That's the worst.
Just check out all the pillows. Just check out all the pillows.
I'll do that this weekend.
Anyhow, so Fox started this new newsroom, and speaking of Fox,
oh man, I just can't look. I'm just gonna be. We got a lot of heat because we actually got a lot of stories. We got a lot of heat for a bunch of stories this week because we openly mocked things that were stupid a lot this week. And I'm telling you, the Fox newsroom is a bad idea. Like, straight up. Like, we run a newsroom. No one here has ever asked for a 55-inch touchscreen to do the basic business.
Not yet, but now they've seen Fox's newsroom.
Yeah, when are we getting our 55-inch touchscreens?
There you go,
they're in the mail. I mean,
it's already started.
How much did they spend on that newsroom?
I don't know. Fox News money?
I mean, you got to give... Here's the thing.
Money?
Here's the thing you have to understand. You can't put... Shep Smith cannot be contained by a standard traditional newsroom. Okay? He's not the kind of newscaster who can... Right. He can't... He's like an animal that needs to be able to roam free.
Yeah.
And roaming free for him is in a place with large Windows 8 touchscreen tablets.
Yeah.
That's where he needs to be.
And that's
his native environment.
Edge of technology.
Speaking of Fox News, Obamacare started.
That segue was going to be so good when we first thought it up.
It really was.
And it really just fell flat.
Obamacare has begun, and immediately all Obamacare websites were crashed by people trying to write. Yeah. Trying to write to Obama,
trying to write articles about Obama.
Trying to tell him how upset they were that he was providing any type of health care.
All right. Adrian, you wrote the story on this.
Yes, Adrian. Can you tell us about Obamacare?
So the site launched for everybody all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And it was also not that well designed. So basically it didn't work for a lot of people.
Classic government. Classic big government.
Well, no, so last week, Adrian was on the show, and we were talking about this. It's crazy that this whole initiative is happening on the internet. Yeah. Like, you can't get Obamacare unless you use the internet.
They have those kiosks in the mall.
But it's still I'm
kidding. That doesn't
exist.
No,
there's no kiosks in the mall, but they do have a call center, but the people at the call center are just using the website.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
there's really
that's
only
the worst when you call
way.
a call center and they're like, "Let me check," and you're like, "You're just logging into my account page that I'm looking at right now. You don't have any more information than I do."
Yeah. But then they have to ask you to tell them manually for 4 different things.
They're like, "What's your login name?" It's like just did this. So
why is it broken?
Yeah,
it's broken because so the inspiration for the story was like the Obama campaign. And a lot of the people from the campaign are in the administration now. Yeah. That's like how things work. A lot of people from the campaign end up coming over into the administration. Well, because like Obama thinks they're good at the stuff they did at the campaign, which is still relevant.
Because the whole thing is a Ponzi scheme.
And because the fix is in. So anyway, the campaign was really tech savvy.
Right.
They did a lot of.
That was the argument was at the time of the election. The technology may have been like the deciding factor in their savviness.
And these are like major dudes because they were like a bunch of Chicago dudes that I knew about. So like Harper Reid was the CTO of the Obama campaign, but he's not in the administration.
And Chris Hughes from Facebook and lots of smart people. And anyway, they did like all the social media stuff, but they also did like micro targeting, and they had an app that a lot of people used. And I'm just saying this because some people in the comments were like, "Oh, they know how to tweet. They're not tech savvy."
No, they did really tech-savvy stuff.
Yeah, and there's the Obama campaign site was
right. And so the front end of this website. So here's the thing I find interesting. The front end is great.
It looks good. Yeah,
it looks good. It like works. And then the second you try to like hit the database to get
insurance, see what it does right now.
It like falls apart.
But is this also because of the that pinch to zoom was not cool.
Pinch to zoom to make the button like 8% bigger.
But is this also because they were hit with a ton of people wanting to get it? at the same time? I mean, this is like,
Yeah.
how often do we roll out nationwide initiatives that actually affect like a regular human being in America that you can like sign up for and you want to sign up for? Like, we have a ton of uninsured Americans.
I think that would have excused the first day,
right?
The second day. We're like a week out, 2 weeks out, right? Like, and it's still broken.
Still not working? Well, there's a government shutdown happening.
It's working occasionally.
Does the government shutdown
actually doesn't affect the site.
Okay, because it's hosted on GoDaddy. And
so Danica Patrick is actually filling out your forms in the back.
Yeah.
What is this? What is happening?
Is this an Obamacare ad?
What? I
haven't seen this one. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's for arthritis.
Well, the answer to the question, like, why is it bad, is basically because of the government contracting process.
Yeah.
So the contracting process is really convoluted, and basically what happens is that companies that are really good at getting contracts are the ones that get the contracts. Right. So they ended up putting out this $93 million contract, which ended up costing, I think, more like $300 million for the site to this one giant global company that subcontracted out to some other number of companies, like it looks like at least a dozen.
The site was
although they're like
basically made in China. It was made in China by like some weird shadow corporation. Yeah. I mean, you would think this would be a place where you'd want to put the utmost care and oversight into, like when you roll out your big new healthcare initiative for human beings.
It was just beyond the administration's control.
Right.
They just kind
of
like... You
think that's true?
Yeah, they put it into this machine that's already established, and
the machine is our government.
Right. The machine is government contract. Like, there's like special licenses you have to have if you're dealing with certain types of data that, like, it just very much restricts the kinds of people who can do the job.
Right. I feel like they should have just done, like, the Yahoo thing. And like just acqui-hired like 3 or 4 mobile startups and like just figure this out.
There's got to be some healthcare.
Hey, guys from Stamped. I don't know what your product is or what you do, but please.
Does anybody? Do you know anybody who has signed up?
I don't know anybody who's signed up. I found a lot of people who said they couldn't sign up.
Right. So to date, none of those people have said, "Hey, I finally did it."
There are supposedly there are thousands of people who have signed up. I think tens of thousands of people is what the Washington Post reported.
Tens of thousands.
That's pathetic.
How many millions of uninsured Americans are there? Yeah. What's the number?
6 million.
Is it only 6? It's not that bad.
I think it's far more than that number.
6 billion, but 5 million are children.
Yeah.
Well, children are covered under.
Come on.
Some
Damn
other
it!
Program,
Don't correct that. That's more. Anyway. It's more exciting.
48 million.
48 million, Adrienne. Okay. I mean,
Sorry.
come on. That's a big difference.
That's just
that's a lot of people.
That's what Shep Smith told me.
That's okay. Well, there you go. He's like, it's not that bad. It's only 6 million.
I got it right here.
He's like, look here. I got a stat.
Look how big it is.
I just whipped this over.
True.
Yeah. But have they said anything about it? Is there a statement?
They haven't said a lot about it. They did acknowledge that there are some problems. Yeah. They basically did. I think they acknowledged that there were some design issues, but mostly they're saying, "Oh, it's just so popular that." Right.
This is like the mobile. This is like the Mobile Me rollout. Remember Mobile Me? You remember a few years ago when they rolled out? You maybe you don't remember this. They rolled out Mobile Me when they launched the 3GS. I think was the phone they launched it alongside of, and it was like. They had all these incredible features, and they hyped it up, and it was just a complete disaster. Like, it was broken. I mean, it's literally like you were going to.
No, and this is Steve Jobs walking in a room and be like, "What the fuck is it supposed to do?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "It's supposed to do X."
That's a quote. That's a quote.
Yeah. And he goes, "Why the fuck doesn't it do that?" And they fired the guy right away.
Yeah, they fired a ton of people. It was one of those things. When people are like, "Nothing bad ever happened under Steve Jobs. It was always perfect." It's like, remember Mobile Me?
Remember Ping?
Yeah, Ping. Anyhow, all right. What else? So healthcare.gov.
By the way, I just learned, by the way, that Wyoming only has 576,000 people in it, which is insane to me.
What?
So small.
Wyoming.
When you said,
I literally had no idea what you just said. I was
Wyoming.
I thought you were saying YOMV.
Well, I was going to say what I wanted to
is.
say was as many people are uninsured as X state. So I looked at the list of states' populations, and the most populous state is California, which only has 38 million. So that was never going to work. Then I scrolled to the bottom, and I learned that Wyoming only has 576,000 people in it, which is insane.
That's great. You can probably get cheap land and cheap houses in Wyoming.
You can build a ranch, wear a cowboy hat.
Anyhow, so what else is happening in the news, NILAY?
All right,
what else do we have to talk about?
Do you want to talk about these gadgets in front of us on our ostensibly
so these are new. These are the new Chromebooks.
These are the new Chromebooks. I actually really like the design.
I think talk about slimy. I haven't actually had my hands on one of these yet.
So these are, in my opinion, really good ideas that were executed disastrously.
Let me see. I'll be the judge of that. So Adrian is a Chromebook user. You are not a full-time Chromebook user. Is that correct?
Half-time. Well, at work I use a Windows PC. At home I use a Chromebook.
This seems great to me.
I have a little bit.
Very fast.
Which Chromebook do you have, Adrian?
This one.
Great battery.
Oh, yeah, the Samsung.
Yeah.
So I have a Samsung. I have the older Samsung Series 5, which I want to use a lot and never use because it's a piece of junk.
Not loading. Not loading.
But you like that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using the Chromebook since the CR48 came out.
I'm sorry. This is
It's impossibly
unbearable.
slow.
It's unbearably slow.
Yeah,
Unbearably slow.
So here's the
I would
thing
describe
with
this as a nightmarish experience just in the
I think
first few seconds of using it. If you only browse text-based websites that have no images, no flash, that are just text, lists of text like links.
Yeah. Then it's fine.
You're a Drudge Report, no problem on this.
So here's the thing. So it's $279.
God, our video is beautiful.
Internally, it is the same as the old Chromebook.
Yeah.
So they basically switched vendors from Samsung to HP. The trackpad, David says, is bad, which I think is a deal breaker.
It doesn't seem that bad to me. It's just everything else seems bad.
I think the screen is really good. I think the design's really nice. It's kind of a creaky, crappy plastic product. And we're getting a lot of crap because, I said the iPhone 5C was like a nice plastic product. And I think you can have... There are nice plastic products. Like Nokia
the Lumias are really nice plastic products. There is no hard and fast, like if you... It's, look, people who are really excited about particular brands get really into the concept that they're black and whites.
Yeah.
Like you can't say it's cheap and slimy plastic, then all plastic is bad.
Yeah.
That's not true, though. There's good plastic and bad plastic, just like there's good metal and bad metal. And
there's really bad metal.
Baroness is great.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Don't listen to Gorky Park, a glam metal band from the 80s who had a hit song. They're from Russia called Bang. I just listened to it the other day. And
Why?
It's because I was like, remember, that was pretty good. And then I was like, no, it wasn't good. This is not good plastic, in my opinion.
No, it's terrible.
Why isn't the battery life better?
Yeah, it gets 5 hours of battery life. It's an ARM processor, right?
This does nothing for me.
Imagine if you had
look at the scrolling.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This to me is not how you make a product.
I mean, Apple made a MacBook Air with an Intel processor that is 100 times more powerful than this.
Yeah.
And the battery lasts for 11
What's
hours,
the price?
12 hours.
$300?
$279. So it's much, much cheaper, obviously.
It's dirt cheap, but this performance is so bad, I would just say, get an iPad mini or something. Like, honestly.
And that's really the problem. David
your experience would be more pleasurable on an iPad mini. And you're not really getting much more. It's not like...
Right.
It's a full web browser, but
it's that thing is covered.
The experience is so bad. I mean, I was just scrolling on it.
Right.
Even the Times,
so the Samsung one is better.
The Samsung,
we said it's better.
You think it's better?
I'm wondering, what did we give it?
We gave this one a 5.9. I don't know what we gave the other one. But Dave and I argued about the score for a little bit this morning. And I was like, look, it has a bad trackpad. And the
trackpad doesn't strike me as that bad.
I think this is like an HP thing. I think this is like very much, it has an HP caliber trackpad.
But they're giving a spec to, I mean, presumably if you were to, I mean, this performance is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how bad it is. I mean, our site is a bit heavy. Like, I'm not going to deny it. We have a lot of images on the front page.
Yeah.
It's not the lightest site in the world. But like, if you put this up, okay, yes, next to a $1,000 computer, it's obviously not going to perform as well. Nope. But next to a $300 tablet, the tablet feels smoother than this.
Right. And so here's actually, I think the performance curve, like the acceptable amount of like low performance, is actually much higher than it used to be. So,
what does that mean?
Well, it's like if you think about the products where I used to always buy the fastest computer every 2 years, right? And the computer that I would like get rid of was like it would feel slow to me in a very like visceral, meaningful way.
Yeah.
And I actually was about to buy a new iMac and I didn't because my iMac is fast enough. The one I bought in 2009 is still fast enough to do this stuff, right? It's still fast enough to run Gmail and play movies and run Chrome and like do stuff, right? And I think this hasn't hit that point where it's fast enough. And I think that fast enough curve is happening across the industry.
Yeah.
It's like definitely happened with phones. I think that's why Apple could like put out the iPhone 5 again in a different case and call it a new iPhone. I think it's happened with tablets in a bunch of ways. And I think it could happen with these Chromebooks, but like there's no way Google's even close enough. Like the best Chromebook is actually the Pixel, which costs $1,400.
Right.
And runs an Intel processor.
Well, it looks like the Samsung Chromebook is actually, we gave it a 7.5 because I don't. This one seems worse.
It definitely seems worse.
It seems worse because it has the same internals.
Slow.
It has the same internals, but a year later, and HP made it instead of Samsung.
I will say this.
I think HP makes
killing Flash altogether.
Yeah, made it better.
Definitely made it better.
Yeah.
So
No, but
Flash.
I've always thought
but this score is also a year old, right?
That score's a year old, and that one was cheaper, right? It was like $20 cheaper.
Yeah, I just think this is the performance. I would not recommend this to anybody unless you were doing the most basic of web browsing, and even like basic web browsing feels uncomfortable.
Right.
I just read something somebody tweeted or was talking about, and they said, I was using a Chromebook for a day, and then I went back to my Mac Air or my old MacBook or something. And they were like, it just is so much faster, and it is. Even the Pixel, which is fast, next to the lowest end MacBook or a MacBook from 2 years ago,
right, or a fast PC, like it doesn't
feels
matter, like a real computer.
or even like the Surface, even the RT,
right,
is like a million. Look, I'll say this: if you're thinking about getting the Chromebook, I would get a Surface RT before I get one of these. Honestly, it's like it's faster, it works better,
right.
I mean, you can do basically the same thing. They don't have Chrome RT, do they?
If you get a Pro, and then you can get a Pro.
Yeah, but the Pro is really expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not you're back to.
Yeah,
just embrace Internet Explorer, okay?
Adrian, so why do you use a Chromebook at home?
Yes, please tell us why.
Instead of taking your laptop home.
By the way, and I just want to say before she answers, I do use mine sometimes casually, like just when I'm not doing work stuff. Go ahead.
Not taking my work laptop home has been great.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Oh, that's a really good idea. You're leaving your work basically at home.
Well, no, I mean,
you're leaving
to
it
work
at
home.
You're leaving.
Don't worry.
No, I know, but but I see what you're saying. Like you have a
get out.
I actually was just thinking about this because I was like, maybe I should leave a computer at the office.
Yeah,
but that actually is great because you can do email, you can work on stuff if you have to, but you're not like fully.
You're not
the crucial thing
anything.
Is that anything I do at home, I'll have available the next day at work because it's all on Google Drive or wherever.
Right.
If I'm working here, I'll forget and do some stuff that'll just be on the hard drive, and then I can't get to it from home. So that's
really interesting.
That's really nice.
That's a great idea. I'm going to start using my Chromebook just at home. That's my home computer.
Right.
And leave mine at the office. Because the reason I was thinking about it is I hate carrying a bag with a computer. Yeah, to me, like I went out on the street yesterday to go. Yeah, I went to go. It is. I went to go somewhere and take a cab, and I didn't have my bag, and I was like, so wonderful. I was like, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to put it on my shoulder. I can just. Yeah. This is some first world problems here. This is really not.
I don't have my super expensive bag.
Oh, I had to carry around my MacBook Air in my bag all day with me.
But wait, so I would say so. The main problems with the Chromebook for me, I feel like there's like a class of people who are waiting for the good Chromebook to come out.
Yeah.
I think Dan Seifert said that this morning.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
The things I'm waiting for are better battery life. The CR48 actually had amazing battery.
CR48 was awesome, except it was kind of bad. It was sort of slow and terrible, but also awesome. It was just like a black cube.
It was really cool looking, and it had really long battery life. So battery life, and then the Verizon service has never ever worked. Yeah. Like I've been in some situations where I'm like on the road and really need internet, and like I've ended up on the phone with their customer service before, and they said things like, "Oh, try it again later. Sometimes it doesn't work in airports."
Yeah,
well, poor Verizon.
That's great. That's great. No, but you're right. I think with a killer no questions asked all day battery life.
Yeah,
performance has to be better.
It needs to be.
It has to be smooth. It doesn't have to be. It's not a gaming PC, but it needs to feel like when you scroll even a heavy web page that it's smooth and it's not stuttering. You're not waiting for it to load everything. Right. That's what this feels like. Just with a few minutes of using it, it's immediately like I don't want to touch.
David's point was that you could get a Nexus 10. You can get iPad Mini, right? There's like all kinds of stuff.
You can get if this is 5 hours of battery life, you can get a decent PC for $50 more.
Yeah,
that probably has equivalent.
You can't get a decent PC for $50.
You can get
for $330.
For $400, you can get an okay laptop that has better performance than this when using Chrome.
That is true.
I guarantee it. And the battery life will be 3 hours, not 5. But if you got 5, it's still like whatever.
Yeah, but the Delta this is their thing, right? This is why it's $279.
It just needs to have something.
The difference between $279 and $400 is actually.
It's a computer for your kids.
Right.
It's like your kid, you're a
like,
10-year-old.
You want to learn to hate the internet?
Your 10-year-old wants to like, research some stuff and browse and like learn things. And, But then why not get them a Nexus 7 or, like that commercial? The kid in the commercial gets a Nexus 7.
And he learns, he asks a girl.
He learns how to ask out a woman.
Do you want to talk about commercials for a second?
Speaking of commercials.
Yeah. Wow.
Great segue.
Good.
Pro.
Right? Yeah.
So we de-pro it when we talk about what a good segue. We're like, what a great, we're so good at this. Speaking of commercials, NILAY.
So I was mad this week. And I think, look, this is like a bad week for Samsung. It's bad for two reasons that I think are connected.
It's been 2 bad weeks for Samsung.
2 bad weeks.
Because they did the Galaxy Gear last week.
Yeah, and the reviews were terrible.
And it was panned, globally panned.
And
Can you please, I'll give you $10 to turn off that vibration.
All right, I'll just put this in my pocket.
That's it. I'm not giving you $10 if you're not turning it off.
No, I don't want the $10.
Okay.
I want the vibration.
$10 US.
I don't want your...
Okay.
Who's on the $10 bill? I was going to say I don't want your Jackson.
Jackson.
Is it
No. Jackson.
Who's on the 20?
God, we're so bad.
Wait.
Hamilton is on the 10.
Oh, Hamilton's on the 10. You're right. Jackson's on the 20.
Okay, I don't want your Hamilton. I want.
Who's on the 5?
Lincoln.
Yeah, that I knew.
Who's on the 100? Franklin.
Yes,
it's
that
Franklin.
You have to know.
It's
only for All About the Benjamins.
I mean, that's right.
If you don't,
I knew that.
Okay,
I'm well aware of who's on the 100 because
who was on the $1,000 bill? There used to be a $1,000 bill.
It's
how many more things do you want me to Google?
It's somebody in like a leather jacket.
I feel like we should round this off.
It's just a guy in a leather jacket.
Let's just end this.
It's a guy in a leather jacket.
Grover Cleveland.
Yeah,
No
of course.
way.
Yeah.
But he's wearing a leather jacket and pumping his fist. He's like cool.
Yeah.
He's like cool Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's on a motorcycle.
It's the middle finger in the air.
Yeah, exactly. There he is.
Looking nasty.
Hey, look upon it. You'll never get one. Like, I'm going to have $1,000 bill. I want one at some point.
Get one,
go in the bank and be like, I'm like, what's in my checking account? They're like $1,000. I'm like, I'd like that in $1,000 bill right now.
Yeah, hit me with the Cleveland.
God, if you lost that, how bad would you feel?
Oh, terrible.
Because your brain can't get around. I feel like if I lost $1,000 bill, my brain wouldn't be able to fully grasp what had just happened. Like, oh yeah, I lost some money.
$1,000.
It's like $1,000 that just is gone now.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's why we shouldn't use
that's where your brain.
bills.
That's why we should let all of our payments be tracked.
Exactly.
By the NSA.
Okay, so speaking of commercials,
bad, rough couple weeks for Samsung. Yeah. So Galaxy Gear panned. The ad came out, was initially loved, and then somebody pointed out that it's a copy of an Apple ad, which is pretty funny.
Okay, I'll say this though: it is a copy of an ad. I mean,
but Apple stole. I mean, to be fair,
it is a copy of an Apple ad. And yes, give them shit for that.
Yeah.
But let's not pretend like they're the only people who are stealing. I mean, they're certainly blatant sometimes. But Apple was, correct me if I'm wrong,
Apple was sued
a couple of years ago. They were sued for stealing like an ad from somebody.
No, we ran. I think we might have been at Engadget at this time. Apple has a long history
of boosting artists' work.
Boosting artists' work for their ads.
I'm not saying that it's. I think that. This is the Samsung ad.
This is the Samsung ad.
It's a good ad.
It's a good ad. Look, and this idea, by the way, is like, Apple doesn't own this idea that like people have been using stuff.
Is that Power Rangers?
No, I don't think there's any Power Rangers.
They do. No, there is Power Rangers in here, I think.
Oh, there is?
But also, this is... the montage of things is not Apple doesn't own it. But also, the first iPhone ad was 6 years ago?
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 6?
5 years ago.
No, it came out in 2007.
5.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd had it after the announcement.
No, it was right. It was right. I don't remember. It was at the Oscars, remember?
Yeah, at any rate, that is a pretty long time ago, frankly, in the ad world.
No, look, here's what Samsung
I'm not defending.
Hold
on, I just want to say I'm not defending. It's definitely supposed to seem like that kind of ad. It's like very similar.
Here's what Samsung wants, and it's. I think it's very clear to me.
Still good. This is the iPhone ad.
Samsung wants the Gear, in particular, to be seen as their iPhone.
It made me want it. Can I just tell you? I know it's bad.
Yeah.
I read our review. I hate the way it looks.
Yeah.
But when I saw the ad,
the ad's good. Right?
When I saw the ad, I was like, "Ooh, I kind of want this now."
Right, and Samsung they want that, right? They want that feeling that like they invented the next thing.
Mission accomplished.
The next big thing is already here.
But it won't matter because once Apple does it and they do it well, it'll just be erased from existence.
They'll blow it away. And so, like, they're throwing money at this idea, right? That they want to be seen as the innovator over Apple, and they're just, it's money without, like, any discipline over how they're spending this money. And that's, like, the Samsung story.
Yeah.
And then, so earlier this week, they put out the Galaxy Round, which is their curved display smartphone. It comes in a color known as luxury brown.
Is brown, is there brown, besides in use with leather?
Yeah.
Can brown ever really be a luxurious tone? Wood and leather. If it's not made of wood or leather, it's just brown. It's just brown plastic.
And this phone is like, it has no reason to exist other than it exists.
How big is it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It's just curved. It's like it's
curved.
It's concave.
And it does this thing. So it's funny because this phone is also because it's Asus One. It does this thing where if you tip it like this, the screen lights up and shows you notifications.
That's cool.
Which is cool. But why?
Whatever. I mean,
like your phone does the same thing.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you something, Adrianne. Do you wear a watch?
I wear a watch when I want. I have one watch, and I think it looks very sophisticated. I wear it when I want people to think I'm sophisticated. Person.
What kind of watch is it?
It's just something I bought when I was in Tokyo. It's like a cool looking, girly watch. Is
it
burgundy.
digital or analog?
It's analog.
Okay. Are you interested in a watch that does more?
Not really.
Do you think you could be convinced to wear a watch that does more?
Maybe, possibly.
What would it take?
I guess it would be the stuff that I like most frequently take my phone out of my bag for, and I'm like, wow, that was a lot of effort to take my phone out of my bag.
Like taking a picture?
Thing.
Yeah.
Taking a picture with the watch.
No, but I'm saying, what are those things? Like, what do you take? What is it? What is it labor to take your phone out of your bag for?
What temperature is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it?
That's
good.
It's
glanceable information.
What time is it? Yeah. That.
God, if only somebody could invent a way to figure out what time it was that was easier than taking my phone out of my bag.
Oh, my God. Wow, we really just went full circle.
Why can't they crack this?
What time is it?
So whether,
by the way, we just let it ride for like 30 seconds.
I know none of us picked up. It was like wait, but the weather is the one thing I agree. Like I feel like I don't need another thing to tell me when I have a text message. Like I get it. Like when I hear my phone make a text message noise, like I'm either going to address the text message or not. Yeah. Right. And I do feel like weather is one of those things that I have done this, like, what's the temperature? And I'm like this. And I don't know why, but I've talked about this before. I think I'm used to going like this and then this, and it's the same kind of feel.
Well, so the Gear has this huge problem where it's like, it'll tell you get an email, but that's all it says.
Yeah.
And then you have to get your phone. And
why not? So why not make the Gear a really robust conduit for information on your phone?
They just didn't do it.
Right. That to me makes the most sense, which is like it has motion sensors. It has, let's give it a camera.
Yeah.
Let's give it has apps that are like limited functionality, like weather and whatever, but it's pulling data from your phone. And anything that is like Bluetooth, or so anything that's like a message or an email or whatever, it's a Bluetooth communication. It's not this thing is doing it. This thing does it separately, right? Does it have to tether?
Yes.
Oh, it does have to tether.
It's useless without a tether.
Right. I mean, I don't even get it. Look, why even give it those? Why even try to make it?
The Gear was last week. This thing came out.
No, I know that, but we're working towards something.
And it got trashed. And Samsung is desperate.
Look at these pictures. They're depressing.
To prove that like the Gear is their innovative. And they did the ad, and they did the watch ad, which was a good ad, and they got ripped for it being a copy of Apple. And then this week they did the Round, which they got ripped for like not having any reason
for being stupid
for luxury brand.
Well, there seems to be some race to curved glass, which I don't.
No, look.
The LG, we ran a story. It was like LG is working on a curved smartphone display because to make
Samsung
to make a different looking phone.
Right.
Like cool guys, great innovation.
And then yesterday, Samsung releases a Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear ad, which I personally believe is a disaster.
Featuring the song Royals by Lorde.
Royals by Lorde.
Yeah.
Remixed to be sung by a gang of Dickensian street urchins.
As you refer to them, street urchins, which is not a modern term that you hear bandied about.
So I watched this thing and I was like, this is Oliver Twist. And that's like the first thing I thought of.
Kind of.
It's all.
Here's the plot of the commercial if you haven't seen it. There's these.
Well, we can just run it.
Yeah, it's Well, let's just run it.
Yeah,
you don't need me to tell you.
Whatever.
We're gonna sit here and we're gonna run the commercial.
Maybe you'll love it.
We're going to run it Any second now.
It's going to happen.
So I actually didn't watch this, although I read your piece.
Yeah. Oh, good. We're still mic'd.
Hello.
Serious?
Did you see him just check his phone and then have to look at his text watch and have to use the phone?
Yeah.
I've never seen a diamond in flesh.
This is so sad.
And I'm not proud of my address. In the torn up
I
town.
don't want to nitpick, but it's not hard to see a diamond. You just have to walk past a jewelry
But
store.
everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, Jeffries Islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care.
Like, are those tanks?
Look, this is
What
funny.
is that shot?
Never be royal.
So, this is a poor neighborhood where everybody's an urchin, and they're destroying
And this
it.
mysterious man is looking at YouTube videos of wrecking balls.
He's destroying an old building where some of the urchins live, probably.
Yeah.
And just wait, he was talking on the
He's
watch
talking on
and the
watch.
phone.
Yeah.
and the
Super
phone.
useful.
It's like, why? Just pick one, buddy. So I feel like, by the way, this is
Hey, that kid's homeless.
yeah. No, they're definitely homeless. There's no question. I mean, they're like a little dirty. You know, they have like dirt smudged on their faces.
Right.
That's like a hallmark of. Though they do have pretty nice outfits.
And then this smile right here is amazing.
Is this guy someone famous? That
Yeah, it's
you-
Yes.
Lionel Messi. He makes
That looks like, by the way, that looks like a 3D,
Right.
3D, like avatar version of him.
No,
it
it's
doesn't
really
look like
funny.
a real person. It looks super treated. So the point is that the song. So the song, by the way, which is we could go down a rabbit hole on this because there's been a ton of Lorde backlash since she hit #1.
Yeah.
There's like she's racist, says feministing, which I like wildly disagree with on several hundred levels.
Yeah.
There is that she's a just a product of the system.
Yeah.
Even though her song is like all about, it's like this, the point of the song, at least as I understand it, is that she's sort of rejecting the pop culture sentiment
Yes.
of like consumerism.
She says it. There's interviews. We quoted it in our piece.
Right. It's she's rejecting consumerism.
Right.
And it's a rejection of like that the goal in your life should be to like get rich, get a nice car, get a
Right.
nice house.
She actually says, "We don't care." Like that's the chorus.
Right.
Like,
Let's see what Rap
She also
Genius
says she also says
oh,
we're
Rap
driving.
Genius has a lot of weird ideas.
She also says we're driving Cadillacs in our dreams, which is a little confusing.
No,
but
look,
it is
it's
it's less nice
16.
than a Maybach, that's for sure.
But I'm saying it's like she's 16. Like obviously it's like a conflicted song, but like the point of the song, her quote is, "I didn't want to glorify." She's like, as one of the few teenagers in music who isn't Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I didn't want to glorify that lifestyle.
So first off, the song is excellent. I don't think anybody can deny that it is.
It's a great song.
It's a great pop song.
And I think you could have made a really great ad with it.
You
I
could
really
make a
do.
great ad with it. It's tough. But here's what I will say. It's tough to make an ad where you're selling a $300 phone and using like kind of this.
No, I don't think so. Here's how you make a great ad for the Galaxy Note 3 or the Galaxy Gear or anything.
Yeah.
You show a bunch of teenagers like doing regular teenage stuff, which is what the song is about, and like taking pictures of each other and like drawing on them with the S Pen. Right? And like
You're not
doing,
really an
like,
ad man.
Using the phone.
I wouldn't say that
No,
is a
but that's, like,
compelling.
that's
you're
like-
like show teenagers using the phone. That was literally what you just said.
No, but like you know, like
show the urchins with the phones.
not the urchins, but like
Building
you know,
a crappy city to put that to put the soccer player inside of.
No, look, show a bunch of like
they're
kids at the
they're
beach
in
running
control.
around
They
and, like, taking
reject.
pictures of each other.
They don't want a soccer field. They like living in the crappy
Right.
city.
I'm just saying, like, all you really have to do is like reshoot
think-
the Katy Perry Teenage Dream video with like the phone in it, and like you're golden.
I think the point is that. But here's what. Look. But okay. Let's say that it was
great
off
video,
key. Let's say that the commercial's off key, out of key.
Yes, it is not a good commercial.
But Lorde somebody signed off on the using the song.
So we talked.
I mean, somebody along the way was like, "Hey, let's do this."
right?
Was she? Doesn't that kind of decision making get very far away from the artist?
Well, if it doesn't,
Right.
then what
So
kind of
we-
artist
so
is she?
Stephen
she can't
Greenwood-
control her own music.
Our scene. Well, she's 16.
Well,
I don't
whatever.
think- I think she's very much.
Yeah,
a
but
product of the machine.
where's she from? New Zealand?
Yeah.
In New Zealand, 16
Yeah,
is
they
an
don't know what
adult.
they're
That's an
doing.
adult.
Yeah, it's a regular person.
So you're grown up.
Shoot a gun.
You can do whatever you want. They don't have guns there, but if you could get one, presumably you could shoot it.
So Stephen Greenwood,
have
our
hunting
senior
rifles.
producer on the features team, our video producer, he really liked it. So like he and I were arguing all day yesterday. He's like, we should just call the director. So we called the director, Adam Hashemi, who is like a pretty well-regarded commercial director. He had a Coca-Cola ad in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So we talked to him, and he was like, and there's a lot of disagreement over what he meant when he said, I wanted it to be funny. I think he meant he wanted it to be like, kind of like, it made you like think and laugh, and like, he's like, I think musicals are funny.
Lighthearted.
Right?
Like it's like Newsies. Kind of like Newsies.
Like Newsies.
Yeah.
He said Samsung's only real direction was don't make the kids look homeless. They should just
fail.
He's like
they look homeless.
He's like,
especially when they're coming
Messi's
out.
Foundation helps poor kids. It doesn't help homeless kids.
Especially when they're like crawling out of a crate with like a dirty rag draped over it. That to me says homeless, no matter what situation. Or they're hiding
from an explosion, which is equally bad.
I think that I think with a little tweaking, the point is.
Well, so here's the tweak. So he said, speaking of the music licensing, we asked him how they picked the song. He's like, our first choice was not Lord. It was accentuate the positive. And so we have it.
And why didn't they use it?
Because they found the Lord song and they thought it was cool. And it was before the Lord song.
We've done a version of it with the original song.
This is what they thought the ad was going to be.
You gotta accentuate the positive feeling.
I like it better already.
It's the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In
Wow, really different.
You gotta spread.
You don't hear this? Is it too loud?
Down to the minimum and have faith.
So this was their first choice.
It's so much better.
It's wildly better.
It's so much better.
So that was actually their first choice for a song. And then they found the Lord song and were like, did she approve it? And he goes, I don't know. There's 100 people between me and her that handle the licensing.
Yeah.
And I think that's like...
We got a technical issue, by the way.
Yeah.
Adrian can you help her? Okay.
Anyway, I just think this is like Samsung loves to spend money. They don't know what they want to say.
Yeah.
I don't think they know what products they want to make.
And I think that like they shouldn't take your ad concepts
It's gone again.
at face value. But they should have gone with the original song. I think that's the key.
It would have been wild.
I mean, maybe they want to capitalize on the success of that single.
I mean,
and they're like, "Hey, this is a hot single right now."
They picked it before it was number one. They picked it when it only had 2 million views on YouTube.
Yeah,
I just think like this is Samsung needs to like figure out what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, and then I actually think there's a whole other conversation we had about like how are you a number one? You're the number one hit on Billboard and like you're selling millions of records or whatever, and your song is like anti-consumerism, and how do you square like people are going to come around and ask like, hey, can we use?
Right.
I mean, I know people who have. Hummer has come to them and said, we want to use your song in a commercial, and they were like, we're not going to do that because we hate Hummer and we think it's bad for the planet, and like we don't want to. Like there is some option somewhere to say like no.
Right.
I mean, if Samsung's shoveling money your way, but then it's like your message in your song is pretty confusing now because. All right. Well, at any rate,
16.
It wasn't a great execution. I liked your post. I get how people can look. I get that you can see it the other way. You know, I think you can see that you could say Nilay's wrong. He's a jerk.
They say it to me all the time.
What does he know about anything?
All the time.
I hate him. Yeah. He's dead to me.
I see what you're doing.
But I do think that your point is not without merit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a little bit of a confusing message, and also it wasn't like as off color as some Samsung ads though.
No, it looks. I think Samsung's gotten better, right?
Like, I mean, it's an improvement.
Like it's been 3 years. They've like slowly gotten slightly better, but they don't know. Like they are a chaotic, sort of disorganized.
I mean, it wasn't like their thing they did on Broadway with the
women,
the weird sexist Broadway.
Yeah, and it wasn't Zoll like dancing on stage.
Yeah, right. You've been talking. By the way, you've been on Samsung's. Like you've been working your way through Samsung's like marketing methods for several years.
Yeah, no, this is just
starting with Zoll.
Do you remember Zoll? So
Zoll
in
was
2011 at CES.
Yeah,
Samsung
you weren't. This is Engadget.
It's Engadget. They hired a dancer.
You weren't in our picture. It was a darker time,
gone.
Much darker time.
You didn't exist yet. We hadn't created the whole cloth. They hired Billy Elliot. They hired Billy Elliot from Broadway. Wow. They named him Zoll, which stood for 2001, and they had him jump around stage with dancers at CES talking about how Samsung was going to turn. I believe it could be the other way around. Samsung was going to turn.
Is this Zoll?
This is Zoll right here.
He's like kind of like a futuristic cyberpunk.
I like his hat.
Yeah,
dancing.
I want that.
But he turned.
Look, he's saying about smartwatches.
He turned digital humanism into human digitalism. That was literally the pitch of this CES presentation.
I don't know what he's saying right now, but it's making me cringe just watching.
All of it was terrible.
They've also done. Remember, they did. Whoa!
Check out this meaninglessly bad tablet.
They also did last year. They did the or 2 years ago. They had that.
Oh my God!
It was Galaxy S3 or something. They had all of the weird kind of nature.
Oh yeah, the nature sound.
It was like it was the thing with the picture. Just take it.
Yeah,
just take it.
Anyhow, I just don't understand.
Zoll seems a little annoying.
Samsung is a company that just they have all of this ambition and they have no like discipline and they have all this money and they're doing the thing that people always accuse Apple of doing, right?
Yeah.
They're being really successful by marketing the hell out of their products, which is great. I think that's really.
I mean,
fair.
it makes you think. You know, when you're trying to make everything.
Yeah.
How can you make anything that's truly good?
Right.
It might be better for them to just focus on a small number of products.
No.
And make them the best that they could be.
Or just like have somebody be in charge.
They should rip off Apple's strategy. Like instead of ripping off products, they should actually rip off their strategy for making products.
Right.
Just make a few things really good.
I've been told, like straight up, like even the Galaxy S4 in every carrier is effectively a different product, right? Because they build different phones for different carriers and then label them all the same.
Yeah.
And the software is like inconsistent. If you look at the Sprint one and the Verizon one and AT&T one, like little things about the actual operating system are inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, buttons are different color.
Well, they're a big company with a bunch of new markets they're trying to go after. Let's talk about Nest.
Do you want to talk about Nest?
Yeah.
Have you seen this thing yet?
I haven't actually seen it in person. Can I see it? I mean, what is it? What am I supposed to get out of this, by the way?
Here's my question.
This is great.
Do you guys have your smoke detectors installed properly?
Do we? Your question
mine is
is
under my sink.
Do we smoke
because it
detect?
beeps all the time.
Well, that's what they want to solve with this expensive smoke detector.
So Tony was here. Tony Fidel was here to present this.
Is this open?
We shot our video with him. No, it doesn't open. That's just the mounting plate. So he was here to shoot the video, and he was very excited when I told him.
Oh, it's got a button.
It does. It has a big circular button. It should spin just like the iPod. It should also be an effective taboo controller.
Look at that. Oh, they make a white one.
It lights up. It talks to you. It does all this stuff. Here's the thing. I was like, why would you pay money for this? He's like, where is your smoke detector? And I was like, it's above my bathroom. And he's like, no, it's not. It's in a drawer. You told me it's in a drawer. And he was all very proud of himself.
Did you tell him that?
Earlier, he was
in
like,
a drawer.
So you lied to him when he
there
asked you.
When I seconded your house last night.
We were talking about where we would put them all.
Tony Fidel's going home to home, moving smoke detector. He's like, "Where's your smoke detector?" He's like, "It's all on my roof." He's like, "No, it's not. It's a."
But here's the problem. It's cool. Right? They built all this stuff. They're in this market that nobody else can compete with them in because they're going to spend the money on like getting the devices approved.
What's the countdown to them being sued by Honeywell for their smoke detector?
So the two big ones in smoke detectors are KID. I think it's pronounced KID. 2Ds and First Alert. And I was like, when are you going to get sued? He's like, well, there's only two names. We'll see what they do.
Why are they going to get sued?
Because when they come in and disrupt these markets, all these other companies have like huge amounts of patents.
Here's what I would like Tony Fidel to do that I think would be really great is home security.
So
like this is cool, but
why doesn't this have a camera in it?
But beyond that, I mean, like I have ADT home security because I have a home. But even in an apartment, I think people should have some type of security system, right? Especially in a place like New York where there are robberies all the time because it's a crime-ridden hell world. But thanks a lot, Giuliani and Bloomberg.
And Obama.
And Obama. Look what Obamacare got us, a bunch of health-insured criminals. Anyhow, but I digress. So I feel like there should be somebody's like, hey, I came up with a really simple, awesome new way to make your home secure that doesn't require you call ADT and you have some guy come to your house and like do like this. It's elaborate. It has to be wired into like your phone. You have to have a phone line. All this stuff. It's so complicated and expensive. I feel like this is an area wide open for somebody to innovate in. I feel like a smoke detector is just a small piece of that, though.
Right.
Like you're like, oh, and we have a smoke detector thing that goes along with the home security. It's like it'll check for all this stuff, but then you also have like, you can get your windows secured and direct line to the police and whatever.
That's impossible to sell to anybody, though.
Why?
Because a thermostat, like their thermostat, they were like, this thermostat is $250.
Yeah.
And your programmable thermostat maybe costs you $50 or $100.
Hey,
but ours will pay for
You can't put a
itself.
price on your memories and your jewelry. Or can you? I mean, the insurance
most
company
people
actually
do.
asked that you do. So I guess
No,
you
but
can.
so the thermostat, they're like, this thing is going to save you money. It's going to like
take
do
that
a better
back.
job of like running your thermostat, right?
Yeah.
And so like, and you get to play with it all the time.
Right.
This is like your smoke detector costs $30. You put it in
Yeah.
the wall. Maybe you put it under the sink and it beeps too much, but like you don't think about it, and you certainly don't like play with it.
Well, it's bad if it's under the sink because it's not going to help you.
Right. So that's their whole
mean, you're
pitch.
gonna-
This is like they're going to go after like like I guarantee you're going to see Fidel on like daytime talk shows or like daytime morning news programs. Like being like, "Where's your thermostat? Is it on the sink because it beeps too much?"
There's,
Like, buy ours.
there's
it's better.
no doubt that you can get some people to buy this. But
they're
how
gonna
many
get- they're
how
gonna
many
get a
do you
lot of
need in
people.
a home?
A lot.
So how much each unit is how much?
$129.
So
But it's a smoke detector. It's
Yeah,
going
you're
to
gonna
save
put a
your
price
life.
on your family's life.
yeah, but
I
how
don't
many
see
do
why
I
it's
have to
such a
buy
big
to
deal
save
that it's
my?
So you need one in your
$150.
kitchen.
Well,
you
a regular
need
smoke
one-
detector is like
$30.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the
it's
kind of thing where
4X.
you're like, wait, why is this thing so cheap?
Yeah, but the,
Maybe I should be
no,
paying
but,
more for
but
this.
smoke detectors work.
Way to fall for it.
Smoke detectors work.
They do
what
work.
doesn't
Do
work?
they?
What does? Yeah. what
Mine goes off all the time when I cook.
You need to replace
Yeah.
it.
That's why
Oh,
it's in
when
my
you
sink.
cook. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this will go off when you cook too.
Yeah, but you just wave at this one.
Okay, but still,
Yeah, but you literally like shut up.
it's
No, it
it's
turns off.
much easier than taking the battery out while you're cooking or
Yeah.
opening a window. Adrian, maybe, crack a
Opening
window.
a window doesn't work.
Get a fan. Maybe you need a.
Point a
So now I
fan
have to go
directly at your
get a
smoke
fan.
detector.
All right, fine. Then you're spending money on a fan. Next thing you know, you're at $140 just to have it not go off when you're cooking. Do you cook a lot?
Not anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I can't cook anymore because of my smoke detector.
No,
But
I think he's building a Trojan horse of sensors in your house. I think that's their actual plan, right?
Scary.
Like they have the thermostat. It has a bunch of sensors.
What's gonna
It
happen
knows-
when
But
Fidel
doesn't this
has-
duplicate what the other sensor does?
No, so
Like,
this
what
one
is
it
the
has
sense
like
that the
motion
thermostat
detectors, it has
doesn't?
activity sensors. Like it knows when you're around. Like it can.
Okay.
It can
Well, if it has
So
a motion
that's
detector,
that's
you're
a
one.
gateway to
Yeah,
the
you're one step
security
away from
system.
security.
right, and so I was
Yeah,
like,
why didn't they put a camera in it? It would have cost $10.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like a nice. Look at Tony. So
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, he's so
How
happy.
he
He's
is.
he's protecting you.
He's like, check
he
it
looks
out.
Like, he looks like he should be taking you away on a boat, like away from all your troubles in that picture.
With
Sorry,
it-
am I the only one who thinks this way?
It's a little more romantic than I would have gone, but he'll be bringing the smoke detector with him.
Yeah.
The boat. No worry about fire on the boat
And it's, look, I just think
or not being aware.
it's
of it.
really weird that they've chosen to go after these markets of like products that people don't care about.
Yeah. Well, I
and
don't
I
think
think it's
that-
really interesting.
I think they're not products that people don't care about. They're products. They're markets where people have forgotten about them.
Yeah.
They're just not like. No one's tried to innovate on a smoke detector for 30 years or something.
Right.
So I get that. That makes sense.
So
It's
the
a little.
question-
It's
the question
prohibitively
with them-
expensive.
It is very expensive. The question with them is like, what's the next one?
Thermostats make sense. Do you know why?
Why?
Like, I get this is your family's life, and can you put a price on it? But yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because you already have a smoke detector in your house.
And it's already been approved by
And
the exact same regulatory
It's been
body.
approved,
Yeah.
and it's like, yes, it's annoying to take the battery out and put it back in when you're cooking, but it can be done, and you probably have done it. Not everybody throws it under their sink. I wouldn't. I would take it out and then put it back in because I'm a responsible person.
That's funny because mine is definitely sitting. It's unplugged.
But so the thing is, on the thermostat, they could demonstrate how it actually is going to save you money and time.
Yeah.
This is harder to demonstrate how it's going
Way
to save you
harder.
money. Money is a big motivator.
Right.
If you're like, hey, you can take X amount of dollars off of your electric bill every month, suddenly you start to balance it out.
I mean, the thermostat's
This is
also a
like this.
toy.
I mean, yes, this will save you from dying in a fire, which has a monetary value probably.
Right. Maybe.
But
No, look, the thermostat's a toy. So my parents have 3 Nest thermostats.
are you pulling up something?
And I look at it
Or are
all
you
the
just
time.
checking your email?
I'm just checking my email.
Are you checking your parents' thermostat
Yeah.
right now?
Hold on.
Can you make their house really, really hot?
Yeah, I control my parents like at will. Like
You
hold on.
control your parents at will?
I control them. I can.
You mean
screw-
there are temperature in their house?
Yeah.
What if you made it really cold right now? Would you turn it down to like 50? How cold is it? Where they're like near Chicago, right?
Yeah, they're in Wisconsin.
I don't want to give away their exact location. Can you make their house like 50 degrees right now?
Let's see. I have to log into the Nest. Yeah.
You're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, your parents are not young.
So this upstairs thermostat, like I can just like turn it down.
Why would you do that to them?
I'm not.
You should do it. Just do it. Just turn it down right now.
Hold on, is that one?
I'm imagining you're like parents getting like having to get blankets. They're like, what happened?
Oh, I have to end. Yeah. No,
Oh boy. Oh God, you're doing it. You're
goes.
doing it. That's
so
your
mean.
com-
I
just trolled
you're
my
committing
parents.
that to their house, 50 degrees.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna turn back.
Don't commit it.
How do I do this? Yeah.
This
it's
is
done.
right. This is.
But this is like I look at their thing and like there's like charts and graphs.
I
like,
pity the moment.
This is a whole thing now of like having a ton of control over your parents because like you
yeah.
like
You're like, oh, you don't
installed Find My iPhone.
You won't come here for Thanksgiving? Well, your house is going to be very uncomfortable during that period. This is I pity Nest when somebody like figures out a really good way to hack this
Oh yeah, no, it's a big problem.
because it's going to be crazy.
They've got Google on their board. They've got like Google Ventures on their board,
Yeah.
and they like the line is they've been like there's Google engineers like moonlighting to help them beef up security on the side.
Yeah, because if there's enough Nests out there and you can gain access to them, you can really mess with people.
right. So the thing is the thermostat makes a bunch of sense because they've
Honeywell right now is
A,
working hard on how to hack.
Dude, Honeywell's have you seen these John Slattery ads that Honeywell's running all over
No.
the place? So the new Honeywell, the competitor to the Nest, is this huge, chunky, like huge black thermostat with a touchscreen that you can talk to. It's voice activated.
Oh, nice.
And then it talks back to you. So it's still like the same. It's not whatever.
Poor Honeywell.
But so the ads are John Slattery reading blog posts. So it's like a content. So it's like John Slattery reads Gizmodo to you, and then in the middle of reading the paragraph to you, he's like, "Hold on 1 second, it's cold in here. Thermostat, turn it to 64 degrees." And the
Oh,
thermostat
I
answers
see,
him.
I see.
And it's like, that's not why people have Nests. Like, it's not because of like that gimmick that they can like yell at the thermostat. They have
Right.
it because it's like a well-designed product they can like control with their phone.
Sure, but you don't want to go to all the trouble of opening an app on your phone to control the temperature when you could just say it.
When you can just yell. in
Just
your
yell
house.
it out loud. And as we all know, voice commands always work exactly right.
Everybody wants to do that.
Especially when you're far away, especially when you're in another room from the thing you're yelling at. So I don't see that there's any big problem. All right, what else is on our list here? Are you gonna get one?
Yes, I'm gonna get one.
You are.
Yeah.
You only need one though.
I only need one.
Right.
I think about
what
it
if you
bigger.
needed three?
I would think about it a little bit harder.
Interesting. What'd be cool is if there was like a base station one, and then there were some kind of satellites that were lower in cost, like $50 satellite. You buy the $140 base station, and there's $50 satellites.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they could really pull off what they need to pull off with all of these.
Well, I mean, it's funny that it kind of looks like an Apple TV, and B, it's more expensive than an Apple TV. Like in terms of just
and way less fun.
it's
Just way less fun.
It does
than
not have
Apple
Do you
TV.
think
Netflix.
some of that cost comes from all the
regulatory.
license?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look, we have that.
They
That's
spent a year. That's the
the
Muji CD player.
Yeah, the CD player.
I asked Tony, and he very curtly responded that he'd never seen that before. And didn't know
Well,
what
I
was
mean,
talking
you
about.
don't own. They don't own a square with a circle on it.
the same thing.
But you know,
Yeah.
it also looks kind of like the square reader.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a square.
We should do a supercut of all things that are in that shape.
Rounded squares.
All right, what else?
So Crocodile and Microsoft, and we can wrap this up.
Crocodile. All Microsoft employees are addicted to the new street drug Crocodile. They say they can't stop getting high,
Well-
even though it's eating their flesh.
Yeah, Adrian. So
Adrian, can
wrote-
you explain Crocodile
and
for
why
the
are people doing it?
for the uninitiated?
This I don't understand.
It's super addictive and it gets you super high for not that long. So then you have to do more of it. That's why people are doing
Have
it.
you tried it?
God, no.
I mean, it's really scary. So, what does it do? What are the negative effects of
I
Crocodile?
just don't understand.
So
like,
the reason it's called crocodile,
Yeah, what do you say, crocodile or crocodile?
people have been saying crocodile.
Is there a
It's from
diminutive? Do people say
Russian.
croc? Because they should.
yeah.
I haven't heard anybody say that, but I haven't talked to any actual users. So,
I would hope that
You
that's-
haven't traveled
I'm
to
glad.
Russia,
I'm actually
the
very
streets of
glad to
St.
hear that you
Petersburg.
have not had like sit downs with
I just
users.
don't know why people.
So
would
okay, hold
do
on. Oh
this.
my god, that is so disgusting. So tell us about its negative effects.
So the reason it's called crocodile is because you make it with this really nasty process with codeine and gasoline or lighter fluid, and then red phosphorus, which you can get on the side of matchboxes,
Wow.
and that stuff all stays in it, and you can inject it anywhere. You don't have to hit a vein. You just stick it into your skin.
Oh god.
Oh, good.
And so it ends up turning your skin yellow, and then your skin gets hard and scaly, and then it falls off. It just rots and falls off. So today I talked to this doctor in Oklahoma who had 2 patients who were crocodile users, and they were in the burn unit because their skin had fallen off, and it was most similar to the injuries people get when they're in serious fires.
I mean,
and they died.
Guys,
that definitely seems
they died.
not a drug I want to do.
Guys, listen. Seriously, listen. I just want to talk to the people of America and the world. There is no thing, there's no high worth experiencing that makes your skin fall off. There just isn't. It just is. It can't. I don't care how good it feels. Your skin is going to fall off. Like if that to me is like, to me, the number one, like all of these things about drugs, you know, you're like, it'll make you stupid. It'll impair your judgment.
Yeah.
It's gonna, you know, you're gonna waste your life. Like those are all like maybe it'll do that. And some people have different reactions than others. But if there's even one established case that drug will make your skin fall off of your body.
This drug definitely makes your skin fall off your body, and then you'll die.
And I just feel like you need to really
within a year or two.
Yeah.
Just find just do anything else. Do a speedball. Do some kind of cocktail of other drugs. Just don't, please, for my sake, for your sake, for the sake of this planet.
Do the thing where you drink water until you're high.
Yeah, do that. Do that one. I don't care what. Honestly,
which, by the way, was a legitimate scare when I was a teenager.
This is disturbing, though. You will agree.
No,
I've heard of a lot of crazy drugs, but this one is particular. How do you even come up with this? You're like, hey, you know what we should do? Codeine's great, but we should mix it with gasoline and red phosphorus and see what happens. Like, what is because they're not like, those aren't things you just happen by and you're like, well, this could be good together. You know, maybe you huff gasoline.
Yeah, they're trying to derive this like morphine analog called decimorphine that was developed by the National Institute of Health like 60 years ago to be an alternative to morphine, but it was too powerful and too addictive, so they didn't use it. So they're making decimorphine, but the way they're doing it is so dirty, moonshiny, so dirty that they're coming up with this really impure, nasty stuff.
This is a real second season of Breaking Bad.
I can't even like joke about this. It's just so messed up. Like, please don't do crocodile or crocodile. Like, just I want to go find people who are thinking about it and try to talk them out of it. Like,
the crazy part. So
addicts, that's
it's problem. It's usually like addicts who can't get heroin anymore and they need something cheaper that they can make themselves. But I talked to this guy who first encountered crocodile when he was in the Peace Corps in Kazakhstan, and he saw people using it. He had students who used it, and they were using it because they're like in the heroin belt. But once he got back to the U.S., he says that he has seen it sold in 2 meatpacking district clubs.
Oh, good.
What?
Yeah, LeBain and Westway, which are both like 2.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
In New York.
In New York, that's what he says. He said
we are doomed.
One guy got kicked out of LeBain for trying to sell people crocodile, and people knew what it was. It wasn't like he had to be like, hey, like there's this new thing.
And you have to shoot it?
You have to shoot it.
I just don't understand that.
You can also like kind of like burn it off and smoke it, kind of like OxyContin off a thing of tinfoil, but people mostly shoot it.
Well,
and then the second time,
I mean, seriously, I'm like kind of hard to shock. Like I've read our stuff on it and been like, this is terrible. And just talking about, just thinking about it and having the conversation, it's like just so viscerally upsetting to me.
Crocodile.
Just legalize drugs,
Crocodile.
please. Like,
so people don't
just legalize heroin, so these guys can just get high in a normal, safe way. It's like, when heroin's safe, you have a real problem on your hands. Like, that's the safe drug. By the way, speaking of drugs, if you're feeling,
can I get a drink in here?
If you're coming down from Breaking Bad, and need to get a little bit of the edge back, I suggest Sons of Anarchy.
Really?
You know,
that's where you're going.
I've been watching Sons of Anarchy, binge watching it in the evenings, and it's got a lot of what you love about Breaking Bad. Poor people doing drugs and desperate people doing drugs. It actually is, there's sort of the environment is similar in the sense there's a lot of like shady characters doing horrible things.
Yeah.
It's also about cool biker gangs. Is this a scene from Sons of Anarchy? Oh, I don't want to see this because I don't want to see any spoilers because I'm only in I just started season 4. But I have to say, like, I feel like I came off of Breaking Bad and was like, I just wish I could live in some kind of like grimy, horrible, makes you feel bad about everything environment. And like Sons of Anarchy has been a good midway sort of point. It's not nearly as dark as Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's much more like it's kind of can be a little bit actiony sometimes.
Yeah.
Can be episodic where they've got like something goes haywire and they got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's cool. There's some cool story arcs in it, and I just gotta say I was thinking about drugs because there's like a whole
Is this
meth.
because you bought
there's
a
like
motorcycle?
There's like a meth storyline. No, because I actually kind of like hate Harleys and like I think the whole like biker
you
gang.
buy a Harley?
It's a Harley, but it's a 70. It's a 76. Okay, so let me explain. In the 70s,
in the 70s they made bad Harleys.
in the 60s, I think late 60s and 70s, Harley bought or did a deal with this company called Ermaci, which is an Italian company, and they sold it because they were trying to compete with the cheaper, smaller Japanese bikes that were being sold at the time, and so they started selling these like cheaper, smaller bikes, which I ended up, I bought a 76 Harley Ermaci.
Cool.
Which is
Can we
currently
see a picture of the 76 Harley Ermaci?
I put one on Instagram. There was when we were loading it onto a flatbed. A picture of me. There's
Josh's
somebody has a
Instagram?
picture of me on it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but yeah, if you can find it, feel free to pull it up. But
This was, by the way, as somebody from Wisconsin, this was Harley's dark period. That like
no, Harley had a period where
This
they
is
were
definitely the dark
hated
period.
and they like moved their production.
Yeah.
That's not it. That one is dope, but that's like a 60s. That's from the 60s. That one is much nicer than what I have. It's an SS 175 if you want to call up a picture of it.
Are you blazing around Brooklyn on the
No, because I need to get my learner's permit. Because what happened was I have a friend. Let me explain. I've ridden it one time in Connecticut. Let me explain what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's very into bikes, and I started casually, just not on purpose. I have in my design feeds, there's sometimes like a really nice looking motorcycle will come up, like a beautiful, like a lot of cafe racers, which are these sort of like customized like hipster bikes. But they're really beautiful, some of them. And I started collecting just pictures of them. And I was like, they're so awesome looking.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of hated motorcycles. But the more I started looking at them, the more I got interested in them. And then I sort of started reading about them. And I have this friend and we were like talking about it. And I started like getting really into the idea of maybe getting one. And I wasn't going to buy one at all. But he was like showing me bikes on eBay that were like cheap, that were like smaller, that were nice, like kind of cool, like middle of the road, not crazy, like, not like super fast bikes, not the things Anyhow, so we were looking at them and then this one came up and it was cheap. There it is. It was cheap. It does kind of look badass though, doesn't it? And it was like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. And I'll get it and I'll learn on this. Like I'll get my learner's permit and you can like take me out. And, so I got it. We picked it up in Connecticut. He like gave me a few like lessons. We rode it around his friend's neighborhood for a couple of hours, and then I got it. But then it started doing this crazy thing where it would throttle itself like out of control, and so you'd be sitting there, and it would just start throttling and even letting go of the clutch, which should like kill the engine, didn't. Yeah. And it just went out from under me like a couple of times, which is, if you've never been on a motorcycle, is incredibly scary because they're huge and really fast. And so I haven't ridden it since then. I need to get it fixed, basically. Yeah. And then I also need to get my learner's permit because I can't ride it. I can't ride it anymore if I really like. It was like out in the country. Yeah. I can't really ride it. So I'm excited though. I want to ride it. Of course, now as a responsible person.
What are you showing me?
Nothing. I'm just opening my wallet and playing with it because I was trying to think of how I was going to word what I was going to say. I have to be more responsible in the near future. So I'm getting a lot of pushback from people in my life about riding a motorcycle.
Motorcycle days are over.
No, maybe not.
Look,
I want to. Here's my dream.
There's a scooter.
My dream is I can take
Wisconsin if you want to borrow that.
No, my dream is I can take the motorcycle. I have a place. This is my like. You know how? Okay, spoiler alert. Has anybody not seen the last Breaking Bad episode? Do you watch it?
You can't.
I haven't watched it.
You can't. It's a bad idea.
Really? You still haven't seen it, John?
That's a bad idea.
Spoiler alert.
He's Heisenberg.
People are freaking out. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what happens.
He's Heisenberg.
No.
Obviously.
Walter White is Heisenberg. I'll just say this. There's a scene. I'm going to try to be really.
This is not going to work.
There's a scene in the final episode of Breaking Bad.
It's not going to work.
That's very peaceful. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure.
And I have a peaceful vision of myself on this motorcycle somewhere like out in the country on like desolate roads riding it. Yeah. Free from all of society's BS. In my Sons of Anarchy cut. Yeah. But that's not going to happen probably. I'm not going to ride it in New York because that's a death wish.
Yes, sir.
I've seen people get hit by cars on motorcycles. So I'm going to be a wimp.
Do you want to talk about Microsoft? You want to wrap this up?
Do you want to talk about Microsoft? I have to go.
Well, there's two pieces
Let's
of
talk
news.
about Microsoft.
There's two pieces of news.
All right.
Three,
Yes.
I think. Well, two. So Bill Gates, well, three. So Bill Gates and Ballmer, they're going to be nominated back to the board after some, like, maybe they won't be around anymore.
Yeah. This is a Lazaridis Balsali situation.
There's a lot
here.
BlackBerry's falling apart in its own special way.
No, but I'm saying it's like, hey, we're putting Torsten Heinz in charge, but we're going to hang out on the board.
We're going to be around. They've said they want a new CEO by the end of the year.
Yeah.
They have a bit of a short list. It's basically Alan Mulally, Stephen Elop, and Tony Bates.
I don't like any of those choices.
I think my instinct is it has to be Tony Bates. And then
Jack Dorsey. Put him in. See what happens. Mix
Meg
it up.
Whitman, who's the CEO of HP, said today we are openly outright competition with Microsoft, which is insane.
On what? Everything?
They're making a
across the board?
Surface. Our PCs compete with their PCs.
Yeah.
They want to be a services company. We're a services company.
Well, Microsoft is now in competition with all of its partners.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah, all the people that used to sell software to, they're now competing with.
Well, the world has
sell
changed.
hardware.
Different
I
businesses.
think the world has dramatically changed for them, and I think that if they want to execute on this whole vision.
What is happening?
Oh, this is Ballmer and Gates. There's a lot of weird stuff been coming out with these two.
Yeah, this is a internal Microsoft video.
Yeah. Can we run the audio?
Can we get this with audio? I actually have not seen this.
Oh my god.
What's he blowing up?
No clue.
Headquarters of HP.
Well, that's terrifying.
Hey.
Oh, God.
Oh, this makes me curious.
Yeah, pretty well done, though. He looks pretty good as Austin Powers. I'm predicting, when they're going to make the Austin Powers reboot?
Oh,
soon. It's time to bring back.
Mike Myers hasn't done anything in a long time.
No, Mike Myers won't be in it. It'll be a younger, hipper, cooler Mike Myers. It'll be James Franco. James Franco. I mean, he's not like Mike Myers at all, but James Franco's in most things now, so I feel like he would just step right into that role.
No, I buy it.
Is there anything else?
I just think Microsoft, like I'm saying, Microsoft is the most interesting story of like in tech right now.
Yeah.
And,
well, they're interesting if they do something interesting.
There's a lot of upside for them, but they need a new CEO. Like
reinvention is exciting.
They can't do the thing that they're trying to do unless somebody's like in charge of it, and Ballmer's very clearly not in charge of it anymore.
I mean, reinvention is exciting if you've got a plan and you know where you want to be and you really believe in that strategy.
Yeah. I think so. The reason I think it's Bates,
it's good.
The reason I think it's Bates is he's the only like real product guy on the list.
Bates would be interesting. He's a little bit younger.
He's younger. He's not.
He comes from a totally sort of outside.
Well, no, he's inside. He's CEO of Skype, right?
He's inside, but he wasn't originally.
Right.
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 Where did he come from? He was at Skype. Did he come with Skype? Am I confused? Or was Bates internal? I'm so confused.
So he was at Cisco, then Skype, then Microsoft.
Yeah.
That's
right. So he comes very much from outside. It's only been a couple of years they've owned Skype, like literally 2 years or something.
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting. Is he British?
I don't know.
Does he have a British accent? Does anybody know? He should do one, even if he doesn't have it.
No. So here's the thing. I think
I feel like that would be here's just his.
I think Mulally is like he's another businessman, like another really great.
I mean, Mulally is an incredible talent. He's a wonderful guy.
But I don't think Microsoft needs another businessman.
A close personal friend. Alan and I. Al and I often talk on the phone.
You ride your Mustang
late at night and share hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
But he's a cool dude, but he's definitely old school.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean old, like, but he's an old school, like, he's an old school businessman.
Yeah.
And I feel like Microsoft needs something that isn't old school.
Yeah.
Needs something different. But on the other hand, Microsoft may look at things and say, we shouldn't be in consumer anymore. They're
definitely not doing that.
But they could actually look at their business in the next 5 years and say, that's going. They're just taking that out. I guess we don't need that anymore. They could say, we said we were going to be here, but it's really like an uphill battle and it's going to be a big waste of time and money when we could put all of our energy into these three things that we really excel at.
Do you have Windows 8 on that?
I mean, 98% of, 99% or something of like all medical records are, it's like Windows.
Adrian, why don't you run Windows 8?
I don't know.
Great answer. And that is the Vergecast for the week. I think I got to wrap up.
All right,
that's the Vergecast for the week of October 7th.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with more Vergecasty goodness. And if you would like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment in this in the post, this post that you may be watching this in right now, or the post that will follow this one. What's happening? You could start a thread in the forum.
Yeah.
You could find us on Twitter.
Use a giant tablet.
At Verge. I'm at Joshua Topolsky. NILAY is at Reckless. Adrian, you are. What is yours? It's ADR. No,
Jeffries.
It is ADR Jeffries.
ADR Jeffries.
I felt like I was going to get something wrong there, but ADR Jeffries, which is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many F's are in Jeffries?
2.
How many R's?
1.
How many E's?
You can do
2.
this one. There you go.
So 2 E's, 1 R. No, 2
I
E's, 2 F's, 1 R.
In any order you want.
There's also an ADR that's just changed the ADR Jeffries.
Yeah.
Do they show it on screen? Can you show it on screen? They can't.
Is it that bad?
It's not
Is that
great.
complicated?
You need something like Blam, but Brian Lamb has that, so you're not gonna be able to get. Blam is great. It's like a word.
Blam
it's a
is
sound.
awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
It's all sorts of things. So that's it.
That's the one.
That's
It
the
all
show,
happened.
and that's it. And have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Enjoy your family while you got them.
Yeah. Beware of smoke.
Beware of smoke. All right, then we'll see you next week.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow,